Hello, 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 hello. I'm here to discuss the angel of it all. As we did our review of Brandy and I. So I just wanted to do my own little thing and then let's kind of talk about, is it production fault that Angel had an epic fail? What's going on right here? Let's talk about that. What's going on with it? So there are some things we find out about, the whole trip and everything. And I said, well, let me talk about that. Let's kind of do a little deep dive into it and find out what's really, really, really going on. Y'all got to excuse me. I'm over here trying to handle business on this other doggone thing, honey. But did you think Giselle was a little too harsh? Evidently, Stacy did. So let's pull up what Stacy said to Angela Yee before we get started. So let me find it. Let's pull up with Miss Stacy because Stacy was like, she talked about the house too. So I'm kind of confused. Do y'all think they actually stayed in that damn house? I'm talking about like once they came back from Angel's house. Do you think they actually stayed overnight in that house? Let me know in the chat. Because that to me it all that they would have stayed there in that house. Them ladies of means that would stay there and have to take whole baths and all that kind of stuff and could not wash properly, but they would stay in that house. I just don't think so. I think they were, after they left Angel's house and they found out there was issues, I believe they booked another hotel. Because, Angel had said when she was trying to explain what Giselle kept cutting her off, about the Four Seasons. So I don't know. But she couldn't really get it out because Giselle kept cutting her off. So we know that production took over, but let's see here. Let's pull up the things first. Let me. We'll pull it up and we'll share and we'll get on into it. Okay, let's go.
Justified, or did you think it was overly mean? As somebody that's also been the butt of a lot of
yes. I thought that Giselle was absolutely harsh in the way that she spoke to Angel. But I also understand the frustration because I was in the house. And so not having water, not being able to go to the bathroom, there was like a sewer smell that was coming from the toilet. There were so many things that were wrong. And like, it wasn't just like, oh, there's no turkey bacon, for breakfast. Oh, hum. It was like, oh my gosh, I have to go to the bathroom and I'm going to have to go outside. Like it was severe. And so I can understand that like we were all frustrated. Like when we were frustrated, but Giselle is just, notoriously,
harsh,
pretty and petty and a mean girl. So she just took it to another level.
She went too far.
You don't talk to someone like they're a child. There's a basic level of respect that I think is due. And it doesn't have anything to do with being a newbie or, what are they called if you're not a newbie? I don't want to say
one of the OGs.
Oh yeah. That thank you. It doesn't matter if you're a newbie or an OG. I just think we should respect each other. And I do think that she was respectless.
Do you think that
last episode, did you think that it was justified, or did you think it was overly mean? As somebody that's also been the butt of a lot of
yes. I thought that.
So was it justified or was Giselle being overly mean? I want to say Giselle was being very mean because I just couldn't get what, you guys were mad. We all know that production set these things up, as far as the houses and all that. So you're mad at her because of what? That you didn't stay in her house? Well, she wasn't going to let you stay there and you don't like her. So let's go over. We're going to check out Giorgio said. Legs and oh, that's the look. That's Monique's look. If that's still up here. That's Monique's look for the reunion. So, but let's go over here and listen to what Giorgio had to say. Where is he at? Right here.
Well, I'm not afraid to say when I'm wrong. And after my last recap on the latest episode of Real Housewives of Potomac, yeah, production, editors, you got me. I got this all wrong. So after doing some digging and investigating and speaking to people, one being one of my very good sources, I got a lot of context that shifts everything about the episode and this whole cast trip. So what I've learned is the house that the ladies are staying in that had the water issues and all the stuff, that was not booked by Angel. It was not her choice. She did not pick that house. This was picked by production and at the last minute. I was also told that Angel did not get to see this house until a day before the ladies arrived, and she did raise concerns about the home for a number of reasons, in which allegedly production said these women have stayed in worse places. I was also told that Giselle made an issue of these accommodations, not to Angel, but to higher ups, and that is why they were being moved. Also, that really weird scene where the guys just look like they're sitting there staring at the women, not engaging them. Well, I found out that this scene was filmed about 2 or 3 times, so this edit looks weird for a very good reason. Angel also suggested that all the women initially stay at the Four Seasons together because she understood her home was far away and it would be annoying to get to back and forth. So this very much smells like a setup, and it seems that the production team were desperate to get drama started, and they were going to do so on the back of Angel because she was given the responsibility of planning this trip, but it seems that she didn't really have a lot of say in how it went. But what it did do was feed certain cast members more of a storyline. Shocker, because they have nothing else going on. And I have mentioned that, and that critique is correct. This season is trash. But where I went wrong was my harsh critique on Angel and not having the full context, because as we know, editors can be very shady with how they put things together. So after learning everything that I learned, I need to apologize. Angel, I'm sorry for my harsh critique. It was unfair based on the context that I was missing. This is some foul play, and now it makes sense why certain people like Candace don't want to be back on this show. Well,
so you heard that. So my thing is, okay, so we know that production set it up like they did, okay? So production set it up, but how they went in so hard on this girl was just ridiculous, okay? I don't understand why they did her the way they did, but to go in on her, but I would have never cried. Angel, you didn't get your shit together, because I'm not crying for nothing. Hell no. Y'all want to play them games? We can play the games too, because I feel like, if had it been me, right? So Angel only originally wanted 3 of the ladies to stay in her at her place. So that was supposed to be Kay, Tia, and Jazzy. We find that out at the dinner. So, Giselle don't want to know, like, when did Jazzy and Angel get so close? She said, we've been close. Y'all talk on the phone, not on camera? Yes. Here Giselle says, that's the problem. Really? You and Robin talk outside of being on camera, being filmed. So I'm like, how is that a problem? But I thought it was weird. I said, because I thought that Kay and Angel was supposed to be besties. But when we get to Colorado, we realize they're not besties, okay? Because they might know each other. They might be associates, but besties, no. Because your bestie has been to your house before. And Kay has never been there. So we saw that. So, and we also find out on this trip that Jazzy used to be a flight attendant. Okay. What happened? I think national and international. So, okay, she did. She was a flight attendant, or what we used to call it back in the day, a stewardess. So I'm sitting here looking at all this stuff here, and I'm like, okay, they got this house. We hear what Giorgio says, allegedly, that from his sources, we find out that Angel didn't see the house until like a day prior. She had some issues that she thought about the house, like not being up to par. And they said that they stayed in worse. Okay, because it probably was when she got there, she probably smelled that sewage smell that was coming up from the bathroom. So that's one thing. Then also, you got to think about, so she went through there and she made the rooms. I think her petty part, what she should have stood in it, like Wendy said, is that, okay, I'm going to put Giselle and Ashley in this little bitty room together. Okay, you know how they do it. She didn't watch the Housewives shows. We know how that go. But for things to go all the way left, now, I like a little messy stuff. I do. But I don't like to see nobody cry, especially on these shows. Because like Brandy had said when we had did our live the other day, she said, Kim feels adjacent. And I'm like, yes. Because, kind of Kim feels really didn't fit in Atlanta. I don't feel like Angel really fits in here. But what you're not going to do is play on my intelligence and think or make me think that you bitches did not take a bath or wash up or anything or didn't wash your ass before y'all went to Aspen. I don't believe that. I don't believe they stayed there. I believe once they came back from Angel House and realized there were still issues at that Airbnb, they got the fuck up out of there. Because really, any place that doesn't have water should be condemned, right? And that's why Giselle was calling it the project. So I just believe that they got back. And when they filmed was the first day. And when they got back, they had realized the water was not working. And then Kay said, okay, because they were saying that Giselle was going to take over and find them somewhere. And they said, well, okay, well, let me get my bags. I think that's what she said or insinuated. And like they were leaving then. So it's no way in the world. Now, I don't know what the time span was from the time they got there to the time they left, but I sure in the hell don't believe they woke up the next day and did not take a bath or a shower, a whole bath. As we see when I just played the Angela Yee interview with Stacey said the house smelled. And they couldn't even use they couldn't flush the goddamn toilet. So it would have been up to the people, the owners, especially if they own multiple Airbnbs, like they would have put them in somewhere else. Or I'm like this. And I'm a poor girl. I ain't got money like them. And what Giselle said, I'm not poor like that. But she said, no, I'm not that poor girl. So she's not that poor girl. She did not stay at that damn house. I believe that they were going to, because she didn't call and check on them. They all decided we're going to use this as a storyline. So that's why Ashley got on the damn plane or the private jet and said, we didn't even wash our ass. Now, I'm going to tell you, as a woman, ain't no way in the hell Giselle would have been hugging on Mauricio, all them other little women being that close up to him if they hadn't took a bath. Because remember, the night before they were outside in the pasture on Angel's 30 acres. So you got the outdoor smell on you. Then you go to bed because you don't even get a shower from the night before. And remember, they already had, when they first got there, Giselle was saying how she had to take a shower because I think in her room or her bathroom, the shower thing didn't work. So she had to use the water to come out from the tub and she had to get all in between her legs and do that. So that was already, I guess she didn't want to sit down in the tub, already a whole bath right there. And evidently, she didn't feel comfortable sitting down in that tub because maybe they just didn't look up to par. And my thing was, how come when they arrived at the Airbnb, what was all them white guys out there for? I was like, what's this? So y'all let me know. Do y'all actually think those women stayed at that Airbnb once they left Angel's house and went back and found out there was no water or not enough water? But they said the water had quit working because it was working intermittently. Because we know damn well they didn't eat breakfast there. They ate breakfast somewhere. And also when they were riding out to the airport or the tarmac to get on that private jet, they were in two separate vehicles. And I noticed the one vehicle that had Giselle in it, that one had like luggage in the back. Y'all can't tell me. And I ain't even got it like them. Because if that would have been me, I would have, wherever production left and went to, that's where the fuck I would have been. Y'all going to put me up somewhere nice because I'm not staying here. No, I'm not. So I feel like Angel, okay, maybe she should have checked on them. But I feel like once they told her that everything was cool, they didn't been transferred, because you notice when they all got to the airport, got on the private jet, and Angel was trying to apologize, and she said about making another accommodations, and she had mentioned the Four Seasons or some other Airbnb or something, that those things are like already happened, but Giselle was over talking her, and everybody else was too, so she couldn't really get it out. So when Giselle said, yeah, I got with my Four Seasons people, Giselle, what Four Seasons people you got? Because if you had Four Seasons people, you wouldn't have stayed. And we know she didn't stay. She didn't stay there that night. I don't care. No, I know. Just me being a poor girl. It's no way in the world. I'm out here. It's supposed to be in this big piece of ghetto ass mess. And I'm pretty sure, like she said, it was a $1.6 million home. So they're charging an arm and leg for the Airbnb. Because I know the one we stayed in, but in Tennessee, was it where we go to Pigeon Forge, wherever the hell everybody go down there to the cabins. Whatever we paid, I think it was almost $5,000. I think it was. It was enough of us to win. And we had no view. I mean, it was a nice home. We had them issues though. And I think what we all had to pay, like, was it $5 something a piece? It was a lot of us that went. So I'm just like, for them couple of days they were there, I'm pretty sure they charged a good penny for it. It is no way in the hell when them women showed up at that, at the PJ, as they say, I don't know nothing about it, but at the PJ, the private jet, they were done to the nines. They all had their makeup on. They didn't look a mess. Looked like they had their, also had the glam team come and work on some of them. There's no way in the hell they were out there at the damn Airbnb with no water. Because Airbnb with no water, because I know they weren't using no water bottles to wash up with. No, they got the hell up out of there. And that's what I believe. And that's what I believe. So Angel could have called him, tried to, be a good host, as they say. But I think Giselle went in a little too hard, and we already know. I think Giselle was trying to make great TV. But if it would have been me, I would have straight pulled a Kenya on the bitch when she said, because it's more important to have water. I'd rather be, have the water and wash my ass than be on this jet. And then everything is too late when, she kept trying to apologize. I was like, well, you know what? You take that motherfucking attitude. Because she said, you didn't accommodate us well. She said, but this, I got this jet. And bitch, I was like, I got this jet. Get the fuck off my jet. Let's do that. So you guys, can you go ahead and leave early? Dismiss yourself. I would have. It would have been. We would have made good TV that day. We sure would have. We would have made good TV. Good TV. Cause and I would have never cried. And that's what I don't like. Angel, why are you crying? Why are you crying? Because it's already, unless you're upset, because yeah, it does make your business look bad. It does, that you rented someplace and it's like, this is going on. But we know production has a way of doing things. And like someone brought up the fact, the one guy talked about, was it when Cynthia hosted a trip on Atlanta and they were somewhere and no one liked their accommodations there. So remember when Nene says, okay, we're going to so-and-so, so-and-so. So they went to this lavish hotel and yes, and all the women, they worked together. They didn't try to make Cynthia feel bad. And we knew that Cynthia didn't book it. They tried to make like she got the damn place on Groupons or some shit. But this here, so then we got the other things that I like to talk about. So they're up at this place called Kimosabe, which I remember that. I said, I remember when they were saying it and when they got there, I'm like, is this the same name or something that I used to hear on Lone Ranger or one of those country western shows? Was the Tonto talking about Kimosabe? So anyways, they go there and this is a high-end like western place. So you can get hats, boots, and all that kind of stuff there. So I'm like, okay. So they all make their purchases. And Wendy, she purchased her daughter some earrings. Now everybody's making their purchases and they stand around in a circle after they did all it and then get the name of what they purchased and the price tag. I said, well, I'll be damned. This is weird. Okay. We know y'all supposed to have money. So Wendy actually purchased the cheapest thing out of the women in the circle, other than the ones who didn't buy anything. And she purchased her daughter some real turquoise earrings. I go, I had to look it up. What's real turquoise? Okay, some kind of stone. Okay. So she said, because we're rich. Wendy, you're rich? Girl, you just didn't know they was going to get your ass for fraud. You didn't know that. Insurance fraud of all things, but y'all rich. Because we're rich. We're Black excellence. I'm like, oh, my Lord. That just don't look good for Wendy. I can't wait till the reunion airs. Because if I was Angel, honey, I would ragtag Wendy ass. Yes. Especially when you go back and look at it, I'll rag to everybody. But I'm a bitch, you can't talk. First of all, you try to make like I couldn't afford to pay for the Airbnb, whatever you want to call it, that I was staying in, that I had told the lady, look for something that looked like it was $15,000, $14,000 a month, but I actually could only, because Wendy said afford, that the lady said she could only afford to pay $1,000, which sounds ridiculous. And that's what Angel said, my rich ass paid $14,000 a month. And I'm like, Wendy. Then Wendy said, because I don't know why the lady, why she would lie. The realtor would have no reason to lie. Wendy is fucking lying. But I just, so with all that, I just didn't like how they were piling all up on Angel. I really didn't. But girl, your friend didn't help you at all. Kay was ready to fight for Candace. She didn't even know her that well. Who brought Kay on the show anyways? Who was it? I can't remember who brought Kay on the show. Was it Candace? Who she come on there with? But when Candace and the Cookie Monster, what the Muppet lady name was? The Sesame Street. Look at Deborah was about to get into it. Or did Mia bring? Who brought Kay on the show? I don't remember. But anyways, you hold fault that Sesame Street looking monster. My grandbaby back there watching Sesame Street right now. So she all into her little show. She only 8 months, but she's 9 months. Well, so I'm like, you fought Deborah, but you let all of these women ragtag your friend, your so-called bestie, and you just want to make a toast. And then you kind of want to move things forward. Nah, bitch, y'all not gonna do her like that. Because I really would think, had that been me, I don't know. I think I would have broke the fourth wall. Because, bitch, y'all ain't about to be talking. No, we gonna all talk shit together. I thought y'all hoes had money. That's and y'all stay where? What? And I knew I smelled. Really? How y'all take a bath then? Girl, I think I said, get your stinking ass off my goddamn plane. That I got to pay over $8,000 an hour for. So production, I don't know. So then when we get over there too, they was at Kemosabe, and I'm like, when they walk them streets, and I'm like, did nobody Google and see what the kind of attire people wear, walking around there? Because I would have probably had on cowboy boots, some nice cushion, some boots I can walk in, because you got cobblestone out there. What they thought they was going to be just, in vehicles the whole time. So I would have really Googled, I haven't been there, so I want to find out, what's the scenery like, so I wouldn't be looking crazy. They might as well have been aliens. Wendy got on in Mary J. Blige damn boots, can't even fucking walk hardly, and Stacy got on some high heels, couldn't walk. Both of them got to hold on to Ashley. Where y'all thought y'all was going? And poor Kay, she had to have the store sales ladies pull her boots off. That would have been me, because I always have my grandkids like, pull the boot off. I got some pretty boots upstairs, but honey, after an hour, you know how them feet be just like, oh, Lord. Let me get this motherfucker off my foot. But anyways, so they're there. Angel buys those not Angel. Kay buys gym shoes. I said that would have been me. I'd have bought me some Snickers too, but I wouldn't spend no $1,300 up there. Not. No, I think I would have found another place. I would have probably had me some wearing them kind of boots she had on. I would have definitely had something in my purse. They have like those little slipper things or something. They could have got some high-end ones that you can kind of roll up and put in your purse that she could have been able to wear. But anyways, Angel apologizes again. She apologized when they were at kind of like a lunch or something. She apologizes again to the women. And that's when Wendy tells her, you don't fuck with us like that. So just, stand in it. Say, I put y'all over here because of what? Talking about those rooms, how she had the room assignment. But she said, that's not really her. She's an empath. She's really, feels emotion or some shit like that. And I'm like, girl, you stuck Giselle and Ashley in that damn room together because they got on your damn nerves, catfish and all. Girl, just admit it. Girl, I would have stood in that, talked about their asses. Yes, I would have. I would have talked about their asses. I would have never been at that table crying. That would have never happened. What am I going to cry about? I'm going to cry because what? And then when Monique around here comparing her marriage to Angel, and putting all of that on her. Jazzy went back and told it. So we never really figured where that came back. Who told what? Maybe we might find out the next episode. Who went back and told that Jazzy? How did they find out Jazzy told everything? We really didn't understand. I didn't understand where that came from or how we knew that. So, but Wendy told it that Jazzy went back and said it, and Jazzy was like, "Yeah, I did," because I was concerned. Yes, she was very concerned. And then Monique was like, "Well, I wanted to talk to her about that, but you talked to everybody else. Somebody was gonna tell her. You talked to everyone else." Kept saying, "Oh, because this is just like what." And they said that she got on was an Angela Yee and did an interview and was saying that, and I guess in her book, that Chris was knocking her upside her head. I said, that's a big ass man to be getting your ass whipped by. Allegedly. Now, from what we see, it looks like Bobby is there for the kids. He's always holding them and everything. So I don't know if I would just say that I would, she doesn't know Angel, so I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that at all. But I would say that Angel, I don't feel like Angel is very sure of herself. And I kind of get where Angel may be, after having a baby and seeing you look a little different. Because I know after I had my second baby, and that weight didn't fall off quick enough. I'm like, oh, Lord. Like, I was stuck at 150 and crying. I'm like, oh. And I'm like, but I can understand that. When you're feeling unsure of yourself, I'm not looking like I, want to look. And then, and you're probably around, you're around other women that seem to have it together. But Angel, girl. I don't know if it's the hormones or what, but girl, I wouldn't be on here crying in front of nobody. Wouldn't no tears be streaming. Because, honey, what you give me is what I would give you back. And I can tell you, I did not care for Candace, but I did like that Candace did take up for herself. And honey, I've been loud and obnoxious too, I guess. With nobody like me either, because I've been cussing everybody the fuck out. Just cussing. I'm like, who that shut cuss? Oh, fuck you, bitch. That's me. Because you're not going to make me feel like that. Especially when it comes to, some people said that she came in with an air of superiority, that, like she's better than them. Or her husband says she already lives the life that they're pretending to live. So why is she really on the show? Maybe it's the wonderland of it all, but honey, her house was everything. And I just can't imagine that, with her 30 acres and all, that her house would, none of those ladies, I can't imagine her house would cost less than any of those ladies' houses. I couldn't imagine that. I understand they live in two separate, because, they don't live in Potomac either. I don't even think they live Potomac like. Maybe Giselle, but definitely Wendy don't. And Wendy house don't look nothing, she did her updates and everything, but Angel got a house. And I liked it. Yeah, I really did. Because I always said, now, I got a big yard, but I would love to be on, I ain't got to be on 30. Just put me on 2 acres. I'll take 2 acres. No neighbors, whatever. But I don't want the lions and tigers and bears on all mine. No, I don't want none of that. No, but put me on there. And I'm a couple of ants and, maybe a frog or two and a bunny rabbit. I'm cool. And squirrels. I don't need none of them other extra things. But yeah. So then we have, so the ladies, once they make, get all their things, and I say they made their purchases and they went around the circle talking about who paid for what. Then they go to the upper VIP room, and it's on the rooftop. Now, before they get to the rooftop and everything, they were down in the VIP room where the bar was. And at that bar, they drank a drink called the Pink Pussy. I think that Pink Pussy must have been clocking in or something, because they get up there to the VIP room. I mean, the VIP rooftop. And here's Mauricio. He comes up there. Now, I don't watch the what's the ones in Beverly Hills Housewives? I've never watched that. So maybe I need to try, but I've heard of Mauricio. I've heard of him, and he is a nice looking man, if you like those type of men. I mean, money make you really look good, but he's a nice looking man. So, but girl, I got so tickled at looking at Giselle making all these lustful faces. And I think, oh, so when she went back and texted the lady about seeing Mauricio because she felt uncomfortable. But she made all those faces. I like to know, was her name Cal? If she actually gets a chance to see the scene or the episode, what would she really say? Or either Giselle probably said, girl, I had to do some shit for TV. So, honey, we put it on. But, hey, I felt a little uncomfortable. Because one thing I will say, and that I did like, that Giselle stopped Ashley. Because Ashley is looking for, she probably on the prowl for a man with money, but she's looking for a storyline too. And wouldn't it be great that her and Kyle fighting over Mauricio or some bullshit? Ashley, stop it. You already was playing around with Sharice's son. Now you want to be over here on the other housewife from, the West Coast and be fucking on her husband. And the thing that Giselle had peeped, which I do believe, Stacey was with it. I don't believe that he would have picked Ashley. I think he would have got with Stacey. Because I think he was wanting to probably get with Giselle. Just be honest. He came over there, she rubbed his back. Boy, she was giving them looks. Oh, I said, look at this shit here. Is the production just edited it this way? Because them looks she was giving, I said, well, damn. And she said he would be somebody she would like to be with horizontally. But, it's the Kyle of it all. She said, and we can't have the Potomac and Beverly Hills Housewives into it, So I like how she went over there because the man had already left. And here come Ashley and Stacey following up behind the man because he was saying that he was there for his daughter, I think getting married or something. And he was going to be alone that night. Now, I don't know what Ashley was talking about because she had been around Kyle, but she said something when they said he was still married or is he newly single? And Ashley said there was enough time that had passed. I'm like, what time for what? So, Ashley is definitely uncool. And like Stacey said, it's enough men out there that we don't need to be recycling the other housewives' husbands. No, we don't need to be doing that. So as they were talking about recycling, I'm about to bring up when Quad clocked Giselle's tea on Watch What Happens Live. That was something to watch. I'm going to play it, but I'm going to play the one with them using the babies so we could not get clocked by Bravo themselves. But anyways, so Giselle cock blocked the women and told Mauricio, we're going to see you later. These women is a hot mess. So she pulled the ladies on back. What was it? Kay and Jazzy was doing oh Lord, what is that shit called? I keep wanting to say calamari, but it's not that. Shit I don't eat. Caviar bumps. And Giselle said, well, I know y'all have water, but did y'all wash your hands? But anyway, so then Giselle talks about the dinner that they're going to have that night. Lets you know they already was in that hotel because they're having a dinner tonight at the Four Seasons. That's what they're going to have. a dinner there, and then the brunch the next day. And then she was like, Angel was like, a brunch? Well, I have to look at the schedule because we got things, out of these plans. She was like, well, no, well, it'd be up to the ladies because after the brunch, like we're leaving. And she said, well, no, so that's kind of how they left off. But all I got to say is mean girl Giselle went in ham. And then I think she went in ham. And then Wendy was trying to do the alley-oop to go in too. Because, Wendy is so happy because she's, in the mean girl crew. And like when I watched Carlos King, was that Monday night, and Blue has said, it was hard for her to kind of feel sorry for Angel because Angel's a mean girl herself. And she just can't be as mean. I think she probably is a mean girl, but don't want to be publicly mean on TV because she's trying to, sell whatever persona that she's selling. And she doesn't want that persona. But I bet you she's a mean girl because she was already with it when, when she brought out those lifesavers or the mint for Stacy. But honey, Angel, you got to let whatever they say, you got to let it roll off. You need to talk your shit right then and there, not carry it and be delayed reaction, and definitely don't be crying on TV about it. That's something I would never, girl, about to make me cry. I'm over here about to make me a little money or whatever and talk shit. This is for TV, honey. You could have spit it a whole nother way. You did apologize for not contacting them, but I understand. You like shit. I don't like them bitches. I don't give a damn if they don't. Well, I think she did give a damn if they had water or not. But she already knew they had water. She already knew that. So that's all I got about this situation, which we know is a fraud, that she had nothing to do with it. Hold on a second. My mom was calling me. Let me see what's going on with her. Hold on. Yes, it's supposed to get real cold here. So I hope everybody's, going to be safe. And if you're in those southern states where you're supposed to get all that ice, please get all the things you need ahead of time. Maybe kerosene heaters or whatever they use. So, y'all can make it through. I'm here in Indiana. It's cold as hell here already. So it's always cold here in the winter. So shoot. And also, so I'm going to go over, we're going to look at when Quad gets in Giselle ass about the reasonable shady thing they said about them recycling and rummaging through the recycle bin for housewives. Even though Robin brought it up, Giselle did make the comment, and Quad was like, no, let me tug on her wig just a little bit. Let you know, hey, our shit better than y'all's, honey. We got more folks watching our stuff, honey. That's what the people say. That's what Quad say. The people say.
I love you down to the floor. But you and my good soror, honey, said that we were recycling the girls down to the TV show. Recycling, and that we was pillaging and rummaging through the recycle bin. You said that we were bringing on new girls that were recycled.
Oh, that was Robin.
Oh,
Robin said that.
But the thing
that was
about
not Giselle.
The thing about it is, men lie, women lie, but the numbers don't. And we've done very, very well. Yeah, I think we have actually done better than Potomac and also Salt Lake City. Okay. The numbers.
Quad.
I'm just saying we're good.
Robin wasn't even talking about Married to Medicine. She was talking about Atlanta.
No, she was talking about Married to Medicine too.
Okay.
And that's my Sora. That's my good
Well,
sis.
you should take that up with Robin.
No, I'm just saying.
We are two different people.
No, I do understand.
Okay.
Y'all don't even look alike.
No.
But I said both of you kind of chimed in on it. I said, we got to talk about this.
I really don't think I did.
Yes, but we got to go back and run it.
We'll run it. Run
that beautiful
Run that thing. Run that thing.
Right, are we rinsing and recycling? That's what it looks like.
I love you down to the floor. But you and my good soror, honey, said that we were recycling the girls down to
the baby Andy is it's too cute. So we was recycling and pillaging through the recycle bin. Quad was like, that whole night on Watch What Happens Live, Quad was on, she was clocking her. Even some of the things she said about Angel, and because I was trying to figure out, because like they say, not Quad, Giselle don't give a damn, she did the show, whatever. So y'all really don't just like Angel, because I don't understand what it is. Y'all call the girl. I mean, I know you have to do your hazing and whatever, but I thought it was just a little bit too far. And if you already see she weak, making her cry again on TV is not good because it really gives bullying. Angel, you just got to get it together, girl. You can't be in there gangstering in your confessional or talking shit with your sister and don't get them bitches together, because I would have got them all together. What Candy said, if I wanted to, I could take care of all you motherfuckers. She didn't say motherfuckers, so I could take care of all of you. And that's what I would have said, bitch. I would have acted a donkey. When she was acting crazy, I would have acted crazy. We would have made such beautiful TV. Y'all would have laughed y'all asses off because it would have just rolled off, Okay, this is what we doing. Because I think what happened was, I think she realized she didn't, not supposed to break the fourth wall. But when she let Giselle have it, like, yeah, I'm taking over the trip or whatever, okay. And when she said that she got her Four Seasons people, if you go back and look, when she says that, Angel just looked like, yeah, bitch, what? We already, we already know this, but she's saying it for TV. Like she went ahead and did something and just took care of the whole trip. So I'm going to leave you guys with Mr. What's his name? Giorgio. And we're going to listen to him explain it again.
Recap on the latest episode of Real Housewives of Potomac. Yeah, production, editors, you got me. I got this all wrong. So after doing some digging and investigating and speaking to people, one being one of my very good sources, I got a lot of context that shifts everything about the episode and this whole cast trip. So what I have learned is the house that the ladies are staying in that had the water issues and all the stuff, that was not booked by Angel. It was not her choice. She did not pick that house. This was picked by production and at the last minute. I was also told that Angel did not get to see this house until a day before the ladies arrived, and she did raise concerns about the home for a number of reasons, in which allegedly production said these women have stayed in worse places. I was also told that Giselle made an issue of these accommodations, not to Angel, but to higher ups. And that is why they were being moved. Also, that really weird scene where the guys just look like they're sitting there staring at the women, not engaging them. Well, I found out that this scene was filmed about 2 or 3 times. So this edit looks weird for a very good reason. Angel also suggested that all the women initially stay at the Four Seasons together because she understood her home was far away and it would be annoying to get to back and forth. So this very much smells like a setup, and it seems that the production team were desperate to get drama started, and they were going to do so on the back of Angel because she was given the responsibility of planning this trip, but it seems that she didn't really have a lot of say in how it went. But what it did do was feed certain cast members more of a storyline. Shocker, because they have nothing else going on. And I have mentioned that, and that critique is correct. This season is trash. But where I went wrong was my harsh critique on Angel and not having the full context, because as we know, editors can be very shady with how they put things together. So after learning everything that I learned, I need to apologize. Angel, I'm sorry for my harsh critique. It was unfair based on the context that I was missing. This is some foul play, and now it makes sense why certain people like Candace don't want to be back on this show.
So now it makes sense why Candace doesn't want to come back to the show, and what a horrible way that they did this girl. I mean, I think she was trying to curate all these different adventures, but girl, read the damn room. Nobody wants to go fly fishing, because that would have never been me. No, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's some women that do that, but I don't think them bitches want to. You know, maybe Ashley, but so we already know they're not even gonna make it to fly fishing. It's gonna be a hot mess. And then Angel, girl, that is your fault now. You should have known where the fuck y'all was going to. But I think she should have. I mean, but because everything is so far apart, I think she probably should have met with the ladies at the hotel and they all took a sprinter over. That's what should have happened. Or at the Four Seasons. That's what it should have happened. Instead of, you know, whatever it would have took, she should have stayed the night with them or whatever. That way they all could have left and did the adventure together and had the morning breakfast and all that, you know, and hang out. But, you know, that's my thoughts on everything. I got a grandbaby in here trying to watch Sesame Street and about to start crying in a minute. So I've had to go on over there and get her, but they be reporting me like they reporting Krishan Rock. Ain't that my shit? To CPS. So you guys have a great evening. And I'll be back, I don't know, tomorrow night to do night talk with you guys. So we can talk about some of all the things that's going on. And hopefully everyone, we all come out good this weekend. You know, no lives lost. You know, keep praying. We pray for the people who's, you know, that's homeless, and you know, hopefully there are shelters that people can get out of the inclement weather. So I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great evening. Good night.